Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I would like to present my lesson plan for teaching narrative text writing to grade 10 students using a project-based learning approach with ICT. So this lesson is designed for phase E with a time allocation of 2 times 45 minutes, conducted in the classroom using tools like PowerPoint, worksheets, and students' devices. Let's move to the learning objective. So by the end of the lesson, students are expected to understand the narrative text definition, understand the narrative text generic structures and purposes, understand which word belongs to a specific language feature correctly, and then able to analyze the narrative text definition, purposes, and structure, and which word belong to a specific language feature correctly, and then could create a digital story by using third-party applications such as Canva. Move to the learning activity. First, in the introduction, the teacher grades students, check attendance, and give motivation while also activate prior knowledge. In the core activities, the teacher explains narrative text using PowerPoint, and then the teacher explains the game and project details to the students on the asking and project planning phases. And then on the project arranging and monitoring phase, students are divided into groups and they play a game called Farm Escape Room by scanning QR code. This one. And after that, students will be handed another QR code and start making a digital storybook, and then the teacher will circulate around the classroom, guiding group that may have any difficulties. And then for the evaluating and testing, the students needed to test the project by explaining to the whole class, and then the teacher give feedback and check the students' group discussion work. After that, in the closing stages, the teacher gives appreciation, reflection, and ends the class. Let's move to the assessment. The first one is the formative assessment. So I integrate the ICT on the formative assessment with a game titled Farm Escape Room. The instruction is open your phone on your laptop, scan this QR code, follow the instruction there, and start to play your game. So the formative assessment will be assessed through the game. So this is the game. This is the game. My bad. This one is the game. This is the teacher view. So as I told you before, this is the formative assessment. So I'll assess the student knowledge about the definition, the purposes, the structures, the language feature of narrative text. So there are 4 stages. The first one is the chickens and their eggs, and then this one is the cow, pig, and the last is the sheep. So the first stages, which is chicken, is about the definition of purposes, and the second stages, which is a cow, it's about the structure of narrative text, and then the third stages, which is the pigs, is the language features stages. And then the 4th stages, which is the sheep, is also the language features. So this is the view that the teacher has when the teacher edit the question, edit the code, something like that. And this is the view that the students will get. while playing the game that I've already made before. Yeah, this one, when, as I told you before, the first stages is the chicken, is for the definition of purposes. So for example, question number 1, what is a narrative text? There are 3 options here. If students in the first try cannot answer the question appropriately or correctly, for example, the question number 1, what is a narrative text, and the student answer a text that describes place in detail, which is a wrong answer. Yeah, it also has its own animation when you not making the right choices, so it brings you to I name it like a game over view. And then if we go back, we go to the same question that we wrong answer it. Then after for each stages, I also add some animation. When you correct an answer, you pick the correct answer, you can collect the egg for chicken, and then for the cows you collect the milk, for the pigs you feed them, and then for the sheep you sharing their own fur, something like that, for the ICT. So this is the playthrough, the speedrun playthrough. Well, to cut the story short, I can just go to the last question from the teacher view. This one. Which sentence contains an action verb commonly used in narrative text? Action verb, run. So I told you for the sheep, apa we sharing their fur. Okay, happy sheep, like that. And if you already finished, the daily course is done. You got 4 egg, 4 milk, 4 pigs to feed, and 4 for any consolation, something like that, for the formative assessment in the ICT. And then move to the summative one, which is creating a digital storybook. Student will open their phone or their laptop and then scan this QR code and follow the instruction there and start to develop your digital storybook. So the student view, after they scan the QR code, is this one. And then after that, a template created by Akmal Putranto was shared with you. So I'll send it now. Students will view the template. And then they will log in their account first. For example, I'm using my own Google account. Let me type my password maybe. Yes. While waiting, okay, continue. So in order to monitor the student progress, so the student need to log in first to their Canva account, so that I'm easily can recognize which students are making this or editing this template. For example, like this one. So yeah, this. So the first thing that the student will do is decide the storybook title and then choose their own character. There are a lot of characters there, like a monkey, pig, lion, crocodile, elephant, and then bird, snake, cat, etc. And then the scenery, leaf, a forest, and the desert, and then instruction. This is the instruction that it's time to write your own story. This template has all the elements to help you get started: to quick scenes, go to resource page, and so on. And then this book belongs to is for the member of the groups. Yeah, there are 4 to 5 members, and then they will, for example, this is a sentence of your storybook. This is the scenery. This is the character, something like that for the summative assessment. So I will go to the reflection first before going to the scoring rubric. So reflection is done by both teacher and students. Of course, the teacher reflects on students' understanding and engagement, and students reflect on their understanding, difficulties, and the most interesting part of the lesson. The assessment technique, the formative and summative, and the scoring rubric is this one. And maybe if you can't see it very well, yeah, something like this. So I'm using 5 aspects from the text structure, storyline development, grammar accuracy, vocabulary use, and narrative element. So how to calculate the final grade, final calculation, structure plus storyline plus grammar plus vocabulary plus narrative elements. The maximum score is 25. Example, total scores divided by 25 times 100 is the result of the final grade in percentage. So if a student scores 25, so 25 divided by 25 is 1 times 100, 100%. All correct. And this is for the material that I will use to teach the students. Okay, in conclusion, this lesson plan integrates project-based learning, collaborative learning, and technology, which is the ICT tools, to help students not only understand narrative text but also apply it creatively through digital storytelling. And I believe that is all that I can present, that I can explain to you. Thank you so much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.